Have you ever experienced a moment so shocking, so unbelievable, that it completely changed the course of your life? Imagine walking into a job interview, expecting nothing more than a routine conversation, only to leave with a secret that reshapes everything you thought you knew about your past. That's exactly what happened to Olivia. Struggling to rebuild her life after her mother's passing, she carried with her a simple ring, a cherished keepsake from the woman who raised her. It was a small reminder of love, strength, and the family she thought she had lost forever. But when the hiring manager caught sight of that very ring, his reaction was nothing short of stunning. A look of pure shock crossed his face. And then, as he pulled something from his pocket, Olivia's heart began to race. What he revealed next would turn her entire world upside down. Stay with us until the end, because this story is one you won't want to miss. It's a tale of fate, family, and an unexpected reunion that will leave you believing in life's most extraordinary surprises. This is HAI Stories, where the most incredible real-life moments come to light. Let's begin. Olivia took a deep breath as she stood outside the construction company's office. Today wasn't just about getting a job, it was about survival. Ever since losing her mother, she had felt lost, like a ship without an anchor. But she couldn't afford to stay adrift any longer. This interview was her chance to rebuild, to find stability, to prove to herself that she could stand on her own. She smoothed down the navy blue suit her mother had sewn for her, its fabric a quiet reminder of the love and care she had once known. But it was the ring on her finger that held the deepest meaning. A simple, worn band with an inscription inside, "Where there's hope." It had belonged to her mother for as long as Olivia could remember. Wearing it made her feel close to her, as if some part of her mother was still guiding her forward. Inside the waiting room, Olivia felt a wave of intimidation. Other candidates sat confidently, portfolios in hand, chatting easily about industry terms she barely understood. A nervous laugh almost escaped her lips, but she swallowed it down, gripping the ring tighter. When her name was finally called, her heart pounded. She forced herself to stand tall, walking into the office where her fate would be decided. But nothing could have prepared her for what was about to happen next. Because the man sitting across from her, the man holding her future in his hands, was staring at her ring with wide, unblinking eyes. Olivia hesitated for a moment, unsettled by the way the interviewer, Mr. Reynolds, was staring at her hand. His sharp, no-nonsense demeanor had softened, his eyes filled with something between disbelief and recognition. "That ring," he murmured, his voice almost distant. "Where did you get it?" Caught off guard, Olivia glanced down at the band on her finger, feeling an odd sense of vulnerability. "It was my mother's," she said carefully. "She always wore it. It's the only thing of hers I have left." Mr. Reynolds exhaled slowly, as if steadying himself. He leaned forward, elbows on his cluttered desk, studying her face like he was searching for something he had lost a long time ago. "May I see it?" His voice was gruff, but carried an emotion Olivia couldn't quite place. She hesitated, then, with slightly trembling fingers, slid the ring off and placed it in his outstretched hand. He turned it over, inspecting the inside of the band. When his eyes landed on the inscription, a sharp breath escaped him. Without a word, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a worn ring of his own. Time seemed to slow as he turned it over, revealing an engraving inside, one that sent a chill down Olivia's spine. "There's always light." Her heart pounded as she realized what she was looking at. The two phrases, her mother's and his, were pieces of the same message. "Where there's hope, there's always light." Her breath hitched. How is that possible?" she whispered. Mr. Reynolds swallowed hard, his hands trembling slightly as he placed the rings side by side. "Because," he said, voice thick with emotion, "these rings were made as a pair. My father had them crafted, one for me and one for my sister." The words crashed over Olivia like a wave, their meaning sinking deep into her bones. His sister, her mother. The man sitting before her wasn't just a stranger, wasn't just her potential boss. He was her family. Olivia stared at Mr. Reynolds, her mind racing to make sense of what he had just said. His sister, her mother? How could this be? She opened her mouth, but no words came out. Mr. Reynolds, usually a man of precision and authority, looked just as shaken. He ran a hand over his face, as if trying to process the realization himself. "I spent years searching for her. he finally said, his voice unsteady. When we were kids, we were separated. Orphaned. The system sent us to different foster homes, and no matter how hard I tried, I could never find her again. The records were lost. It was like she had disappeared. Olivia's fingers curled into fists, her chest tightening at the thought of her mother's past, one she had never known. She never talked about her childhood. She whispered, "I always thought it was just too painful for her." Mr. Reynolds nodded slowly. It must have been. He looked down at the two rings, his fingers tracing the inscription. These were the last things our father gave us before we were separated. A promise that no matter what happened, we'd find each other again. His voice broke slightly, but I never did. Olivia felt tears welling up, emotions she couldn't contain bubbling to the surface. All these years, she had believed she had no family left. And yet, sitting across from her was an uncle she had never known existed. A connection to her mother that she thought was lost forever. She pulled out her phone, her hands shaking as she scrolled through pictures of her mother. This is her," she said, holding up the screen. Mr. Reynolds took the phone, his breath hitching as he looked at the woman in the photo. His sister, his lost family. She had the same eyes, he murmured, his voice thick with emotion. The same smile. Silence stretched between them, filled with the weight of years lost and the bittersweet joy of finding each other too late for a full reunion, but just in time to rewrite the future. Tears welled in Olivia's eyes as she watched Mr. Reynolds study the photo, his rough, calloused fingers trembling slightly as he held the screen. Decades of searching, of wondering, of regret. All of it was reflected in his expression. "She was amazing," Olivia whispered, her voice barely steady. "She was kind, strong, and she worked harder than anyone I knew. She always put me first." Mr. Reynolds swallowed hard, nodding as he fought to keep his composure. "That sounds just like the girl I remember," he said softly. "She always took care of me when we were kids. And now, I never even got to say goodbye." A heavy silence filled the room, but it wasn't empty. It was thick with emotion, with lost time, with the pain of missed moments. Yet, beneath all of it, there was something else. Hope. Mr. Reynolds finally looked up at Olivia, his eyes filled with something she never expected. "Family. You're not alone, Olivia," he said firmly. "You still have me. And I want you to meet the rest of my family, your family. My wife, my boys. They'd love you." A lump formed in Olivia's throat. For so long, she had felt like she was drifting, like a part of her was missing. But now, in the most unexpected way, she had found something she didn't even know she was searching for. A place to belong. Over the following weeks, Olivia's life changed in ways she had never imagined. What started as a simple job interview had turned into the most unexpected reunion of her life. Not only did she secure the job, but she also gained a family she never knew existed. Mr. Reynolds, or rather, Uncle James, wasted no time in introducing her to his wife and sons, her newfound cousins. The first dinner at their home was overwhelming in the best way possible. Laughter filled the air, stories were shared, and for the first time in a long time, Olivia felt a warmth she had feared she would never experience again. As she listened to Uncle James reminisce about the sister he had lost, the mother she had loved so deeply, she realized just how much their lives had been unknowingly intertwined. They had spent years searching for something they thought was lost forever, only to find each other at the most unexpected moment. One evening, as Olivia settled into her new job at the construction company, she found herself absent-mindedly turning her ring on her finger. The two rings, hers and Uncle James, were now more than just symbols of the past. They were proof that even in loss, there could be new beginnings. That even in the darkest moments, hope had a way of leading to the light. She looked up and met her uncle's gaze as he passed by her desk. He gave her a small nod, and she smiled. She wasn't alone anymore. This story is a powerful reminder that life is full of unexpected twists, some heartbreaking, some beautiful, and some that change everything in the blink of an eye. Have you ever experienced a moment that completely altered your life? A chance encounter, a shocking discovery, or a reunion you never expected? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comments below how this story made you feel. And if you believe in the power of fate, family, and second chances, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to HAI Stories for more incredible real-life tales. Because sometimes, The most extraordinary stories come from the most ordinary moments.